Alright, let's get this show started here, guys. Welcome, guys, to the Meet Damien channel. I am Damien, and today's live stream we're going to be taking a look at stocks and crypto, but we usually like to start off by looking at Bitcoin first. So let's get started here looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is currently trading at $82,400 right now, and you know, Bitcoin has been below the 200-day moving average, so we're still a little bit wary of the Bitcoin price being below the 200-day moving average, which is currently sitting at $86,000. That's where you can start to be bullish on Bitcoin again, if we can get Bitcoin to get above $86,000, which is where that red line is at. Looks like we do have the 21 EMA starting to curve up on the daily chart here. That could lead us to higher prices, possibly. But what I am concerned right now is that the buying pressure on the MACD is starting to wane and come down here. And stochastic RSI is low, which could be one of two things. It could be a buying opportunity. You could be buying Bitcoin right here and just put a stop loss right below the wicks here at like $81,000 because we did not go below $81,000 today. You could have your stop loss to $81,000, or maybe you could put it a little bit loose at $80,500. Okay, and then you're only risking a small loss on your stop loss. And then, you know, if Bitcoin does get the bounce back up to higher prices here, you're not risking that much in order to get that reward. Okay. You know, we've been wondering if Bitcoin could get the bounce off the 200-day moving average, and it's been weak, and it's been creating this bear flag. Okay, bear flags normally break down to the downside, so I'm worried about Bitcoin right now, possibly in this bear flag. If I just draw out the flagpole here, and I'll draw out, you know, what the flag looks like to me here. Okay. So you got yourself the flag, and you got yourself the pole, and the pole is the measured move. And, you know, the measured move is saying that, you know, if Bitcoin does decide to drop down, you're looking at like Bitcoin at $72,000. That blue number right there, $72,300 Bitcoin, could be coming into play in the future here. That's like a 10,000 point drop from where Bitcoin is right now. Okay. So I'm worried that we might see that going into the later on this week and next week, right? Because once again, look at the MACD. You know, after green usually comes red, all right, and you might have some red candles start showing up on the MACD, and you know, could be some bad days coming up here for Bitcoin. Could be a lower low, and that lower low looks like it might be a $72,000 Bitcoin. Okay. I can't really get bullish on Bitcoin until I see Bitcoin get above the red line, the $86,000 price target. Okay, where the 200-day moving average is currently sitting at. But if Bitcoin can get above that, then we can start talking about Bitcoin going to higher levels. And then I think if Bitcoin does go to higher levels, we'll probably see some resistance at this green and blue line here at $93,000 Bitcoin. Bitcoin be the next resistance level if Bitcoin can get its act together and go to higher prices here. Okay. But yeah, that's Bitcoin in a nutshell as of now. I am worried about the MACD, and I'm worried about the stochastic RSI bringing us down to lower prices here in the future. I'm cautiously optimistic if we can get above the 200-day moving average. I want to see Bitcoin above $86,000 before I can start becoming bullish on Bitcoin again. Okay. All right. Let's see. Looks like I got a request from Ashton. Will DMN go back up? You purchased 40,000 shares today. Okay. All right. Yep. Seeing if there's any other requests here. I wanted to look at XRP after Bitcoin, but we can look at DMN real quick, and then we'll look at XRP after that. And then Coulter is saying, what do you trade? I trade both stocks and crypto. That's why this is a stock and crypto live stream here. We'll look at the stock that Ashton just requested, and then we're gonna go back into looking at XRP after that. Okay. So yeah, I do trade both stocks and crypto, and right now I just see possible bear flag, could break out on Bitcoin, taking us to lower prices here. All right, let's look at this stock here, DMN. You just bought some shares today. I'm assuming that's Damon Incorporated on the NASDAQ. Yo, okay. So this thing has seen better prices. Looks like what this thing IPO'd, I'm assuming, back in November of 2024. I don't know too much about this stock, other than what I'm seeing right now, that this is currently trading at a penny, and it looks like this is TradingView is saying that this is related to finance. It's a financial conglomerate. What else do we have? Do you have any more information here about this stock? It says that it operates as a holding company that provides data analytics and statistical visualization solutions. The company was founded on October 2023 and is headquartered in Canada. Okay. So yeah, you wanted me to analyze this stock. I'll try my best to analyze it as best as I can. All right. But what I can tell you is that this thing is going down and to the right, and that is bearish. That is not bullish. We want to be bullish on our stocks. Stock that's going up and to the right is considered bullish. A stock that goes down and to the right is considered bearish, right? And now you need to see if there's any bullish divergence that's forming, okay? To give you an idea is like how low this thing could, to give you an idea is like if this thing is starting to bottom out, okay? Right now you got your lower lows here, and we're looking at the daily chart here. So every candle is a day, and it seems like every day this stock is going down for the most part. So you got lower lows on price, but here on the RSI, man, you do not have, I do not see higher lows. Okay, I want to see higher lows to give me ideas that this stock is actually going to start to bottom out, but this thing could just continue going down lower, and I don't really have that much data on this stock. I could try pulling the VRVP, but probably not going to give me much information there. Yeah, see, I pull up the VRVP, and it's just saying that the point of control is right here at like 3 cents. So this stock is trading below the point of control. If it was going to get bullish, you might see it go back up to the point of control where a lot of people bought at 3 cents, around 3 to 4 cents here. But I would stay away from this thing. This thing could go this thing could continue going lower, and defying your expectations and surprising you to the downside. I would not touch this thing with a 10-foot pole, to be honest. Okay, because it just looks like it's just gonna continue going down and to the right as it's been doing, and there's no bullish divergence. There's nothing here that tells me that this thing is gonna stop dropping like a rock. Okay, you're basically catching a falling knife with this stock, and I don't know why. I would have to look at the fundamentals, look at the earnings report. Is this company going bankrupt? Is that why this stock is going down? I would, if I had to be in this stock, I would put a very small position, maybe like 0.5% of my total portfolio. Okay, all right, that's Damon, right? I would not be buying this stock right now, but it seems like you want to take the risk. Okay, you could be going down lower. I see MMA Squires in the chat. Good to see that you're in there. Appreciate you coming into the chat. Thanks for the shout out. Ashton saying that there's a new CEO for Damon. Okay. Is the new CEO the reason why it's going down, or is that the reason why it's going up? I'm sorry. Is it the new CEO the reason why it's going down, or has it gone down and now they got a new CEO? Like you tell me in the chat here what the new CEO has to do with anything here. But looks like MMA Squire wants us to look at Tesla. So let's go ahead and take a look at Tesla. We actually looked at Tesla, I believe, yesterday, but we can take a look at it again. Alrighty, Tesla currently trading at $259.16. It settled today at $259.16. And the point of control for Tesla is this blue line here, which is currently sitting at basically where we're already at 255. Okay. So you got a lot of volume here. A lot of people have settled up at 259, 250. All right, looks like the VRVP just reset on me. If Tesla continues on this downtrend, the bearish price target is that you could see Tesla come down to $220 before it could get a bounce back, which it had that level at around March 10th is where we saw $220 Tesla. You could come back down and retest the bottom before you try to go back up again. If we break through that $220 level and we come down to lower prices, you got another high volume node here, and you get the point of control currently sitting at $175. So Tesla could come down to $175 before long-term investors start coming in to scoop up what they perceive to be relatively cheap Tesla shares at 175 bucks. Okay. That's if Tesla continues being bearish. Now, if Tesla was to become bullish for whatever reason, we would want to see Tesla get above that 200-day moving average, that red line there. And that red line is currently sitting at 286. Okay, so once we get above 286, then you can start to be cautiously optimistic on Tesla. And then you got the VRVP saying that the next high volume node where we might get some resistance is at $340. And $340 happens to be where that 50-day moving average, that green line, is currently sitting at. So I would expect if you do buy Tesla right now and you ride this puppy up to higher prices, I think $340 seems to be a fair market value price for you to sell your shares, because we might come back down once we get up to $340 here on Tesla. So that's your bullish target on Tesla, should be $340. Okay, you could even count this 100-day moving average, this blue line, as another take profit area at $310. So anywhere between $310, $340, I would start selling my Tesla if I was you. But this is not financial advice, so you do whatever you need to do there, MMA Squire. Okay, I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm telling you that if I was in Tesla, I would start selling once it gets above $300 here. Okay. So that's Tesla, right? Let's move on to XRP. We'll go back into crypto now. XRP is one of the popular cryptocurrencies in cryptocurrency world. XRP Ripple, currently trading at $2.08 right now. And you know, with XRP being one of the popular cryptocurrencies, one of the reasons is because this cryptocurrency is actually one of the strongest high market cryptocurrencies in cryptocurrency world. XRP is actually above the 200-day moving average, which you cannot say that for Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin's struggling to get above the 200-day. Okay, XRP is actually above the 200-day. This red line right here. That red line is at at $1.79. So if Ripple for some reason loses support and we lose the $2 psychological level here, I would expect Ripple to possibly get a bounce and support at $1.79. Okay, $1.80 if you want to call it that. And yeah, I think XRP should get at least a bounce off that 200-day moving average if it does go down to those levels. Now, XRP might actually go a little bit further below the 200-day moving average because you have high volume here. It's currently sitting at $1.50 and $1.45. Okay, that's where XRP could possibly go if it loses the 200-day moving average. That would be the next level for XRP on the bearish side. Now, the bullish side is that we do want to see XRP continue to higher prices here, and if it gets above the 50-day moving average at $2.51, it could be primed, okay, to go right to $3 in no time, because you got a big gap here on the VRVP, which shows that you know, XRP doesn't really have that much resistance once it gets above 250. And as you can see, we seen here earlier in March here that when XRP got above $2.50, okay, you saw XRP shoot straight up to $3. Okay, right over here. Okay, you got a $3 XRP, but that didn't last long, and then we lost that the next day. But XRP could, you know, come to $3 and possibly to like $3.14 is my price target on XRP later on in 2025. Okay, later on this year. Let's see. If you guys are enjoying the analysis so far, don't forget to hit that like button. I appreciate all the likes and the subscribes and the new followers here. If you're new to the channel and you like what like the technical analysis here, go ahead and click that follow button, click that subscribe button, so you can come see me again on the next live stream here. All right, but yeah, we'll continue on looking at some other cryptos here. And if you guys have any requests, I am taking requests now, so go ahead and feel free to request your favorite stock or crypto. Okay, but the next one I want to look at here is going to be Solana. Okay, Solana currently trading at $125 and a penny. Okay, Solana lost its 200-day moving average back here on February 17th here, and that's when I was telling people it might be time to get out of Solana because you lost that 200-day moving average. You didn't even get a chance to back test it. You almost back tested it, but then you just kept on going down to lower prices here. Around like March 2nd, we had, you know, rumors that Solana was going to be in a crypto strategic reserve, which shot the price up to the 21 EMA, this white line here, and then we got rejected when we found out that wasn't really the case. It's not going to be added to a strategic reserve, that Donald Trump was just naming cryptocurrencies off the top of his head and wasn't really, there was nothing set in stone, set in paper, set in writing that there was going to be Solana in strategic reserve. So we got rejected, okay? And then from there, it's been kind of lackluster price action here. However, with Solana, you are starting to see some higher lows being formed here, okay? So let me just draw that out here for you guys. You have higher lows here on the RSI, okay? But you have lower lows here on the price. Does anybody here know, anybody in the chat know what kind of divergence this is? When you got lower lows and on the price and higher lows on the RSI? Go ahead and shout it out. Tell me what kind of, is that bearish or bullish divergence? I'll give you guys like 10 seconds because I know it's like a little bit of a delay. But I'm waiting to see if anybody here knows what kind of divergence. Is it bearish or bullish divergence when you see lower lows on price and higher lows on RSI? It is bullish divergence, okay? So with bullish divergence, with the coming into play here on Solana, you can see that that's the reason why Solana is now trading sideways and kind of creating a bottom here, okay? It looks like we're trying to stay above the $110 level here on Solana, okay? So you could strategically place a stop loss at like $105 maybe, okay? Or $110. And you could be buying Solana right here, hoping that your stop loss never gets triggered, and it would be a small stop loss, and then you're waiting to see if Solana can get back to the 200-day moving average, that red line there, which is currently sitting at this red number here. You have Solana at $183 is when you can start to be bullish on Solana again. Okay. But until then, you know, the bullish case is that Solana starts climbing up to $180 and then you might get some resistance. The bearish case, if I zoom out here, if Solana loses that $110 level, then I could see Solana coming right down to like $94 in no time here. If I turn on the VRVP, it'll probably show you that there's some volume. Yeah, there's a little bit of volume, high volume node here at $94. Okay. But then if Solana continues dropping down to lower prices, you could see a $74 Solana, according to the volume on the VRVP here. Okay. So I'd be on the lookout for this. And then, you know, I haven't even looked at Solana on the weekly chart. Let's see if there's any support on the weekly chart. Yeah, not really. You already at support pretty much. You got the 50 moving average, this green line, providing support at $117. If you lose that, you might come down to that blue line at 87 bucks. So it's like almost the same thing as like, yeah, 87 bucks or 94 bucks. You might see Solana at those prices if we lose this $120 level here. Okay. All right. Moving on to Ethereum. And yep. All right. Yeah. Moving on to Ethereum. Ethereum is currently sitting at $1,818. It's been in a brutal descending channel for a while here. As I zoom in, you know, Ethereum, let me just go into the daily chart here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So Ethereum lost the 200-day moving average back on the beginning of February here. February 2nd. And that's when we started becoming bearish on Ethereum. Once you lose the 200-day moving average, you really can't be bullish on it until it gets above it again. But we haven't been able to get above that 200-day moving average, and we've just been continuing on making lower lows here on Ethereum. But what I do like about Ethereum is that you are creating higher lows here on the RSI, so Ethereum could be starting to bottom out or starting the bottom out process here. Okay, but yeah, if Ethereum is going to continue going to lower prices here, then I do see that Ethereum could come down and test the bottom of this descending channel, and you could see Ethereum at $1,400, right? $1,400 Ethereum. If we're not able to start getting some bids here at the $1,800 level. Okay. Bullish case for Ethereum is that you need to get out of this descending channel. You would want to see it probably Ethereum climb right back up to like $2,400, which will put you at the top of this channel here. And then maybe get up to like $2,500, $2,600 where you have some high volume on the BRVP. And then you really can't be bullish on Ethereum until it gets the 200-day moving average, and that 200-day moving average is currently sitting at 28.52. So when you see Ethereum get back up to like $2,800, you can start to be bullish on Ethereum. But I would not, you know, hold my breath until then. You know, that's a 1,000-point move it has to make just for you to get bullish on Ethereum. All right, Athena saying, don't be surprised if the market goes low as F. Why are you so bearish? Everything will go down when Trump puts his second tariffs tomorrow. I believe those tariffs are going to be on Wednesday. We're waiting for Wednesday, Athena. Okay. Trump didn't want to do the tariffs on April 1st because he feels like people would treat it like a joke, you know, April Fool's Day. Yeah, the tariffs are gonna. There's probably gonna be some more tariffs on Wednesday, and we don't know what exactly Trump is gonna tariff. If he's gonna target certain countries or if he's gonna tariff certain sectors. But you know, one could say that the bad news has already been priced in on tariffs. I mean, Bitcoin got a nice healthy comeback today. I believe the stock market did go down today, but I know crypto and gold is actually going up. So that I don't know why. I don't know why crypto would go up. Usually crypto goes up and down with the stock market because crypto and Bitcoin is considered like risk on versus risk off. So I don't know. To be honest with you, Bitcoin went up today. And maybe I take that back. I'm looking at the Bitcoin price now. It looks like Bitcoin is slightly down. We got one more hour left here. 1.5 hours left here for the Bitcoin daily candle to close. And Bitcoin is slightly down 44 bucks from where it was yesterday. So kind of neutral on Bitcoin. For those that missed my analysis on Bitcoin, I still think that Bitcoin could be in a bear flag, and if we do have that bear flag play out, the bearish target is about $72,000 on Bitcoin if we continue going lower here on Bitcoin. Okay. The other thing that I'm worried about with Bitcoin is also the MACD is showing less buying pressure. So you might be right. You might be right, Athena. We might see some bad things happen on Wednesday. You think Bitcoin's gonna be at 79K by Wednesday? Possibly. It could be on 70. It could be at 79K on its way to 72K later on next week. Yeah. My target on Bitcoin is $72,000 if we're gonna continue being bearish. If we are gonna be bullish on Bitcoin, I want to see it get above $86,000. Okay. And then after that, we could see some resistance at the blue and green line here. The 150-day moving average, which is sitting at $93,000 Bitcoin. I feel like some people would want to start getting out of Bitcoin at that level. Short-term traders are targeting that level. You're invested in XRP. Okay, you got in at $2.19. Yeah, you know, the markets are tricky. Yeah, today would have been a better day to buy XRP. Currently trading at $2.07. You might even get cheaper XRP if we have another bad red day here. You might see XRP get down to like $1.90. Now, if it gets down to $1.90, you could put a low risk trade in there, seeing if it will respect this this bottom here on March 11th, and then you probably put your stop loss at maybe like $1.80. Okay. And you know, you're hoping that you might be catching the bottom on Ripple at $1.90, but if it does go down to $1.80 and it loses $1.80, then you know you're basically be losing that 200-day moving average as well, and it could be a steep drop down to like $1.50. Could be the next bearish target for Ripple. We talked about that earlier on this live stream as well. Brian, you're saying, do I think we'll shoot up after the dip is done? You know, I feel like a lot of the bearish price action has been priced into the markets. Like, we already know, like, Trump is going to put tariffs in on Wednesday. I feel like people that wanted to get out have already gotten out already. And if things aren't as bad, if the tariffs aren't as bad as some people are fearing on Wednesday, then we could get that bounce up. We could get a shoot up, as you say, after the dip is done. Okay. Let's take a look at we'll take a look at the Nasdaq here, and we'll take a look at the S&P 500. Actually, I'll take a look at the S&P 500 first. S&P 500 is at 5,600 points, 611 points. And yeah, tariffs have not been good for the S&P 500 ever since Donald Trump came into power. He's been threatening tariffs. We had the highs here back in February 19th, and it's been down, down, down for the market, giving people a good scare here. But what got people even more scared is when we lost the 200-day moving average, that red line right there. Okay. And then not only that, we then bearishly back tested the 200-day moving average on the S&P 500. So what does that say? Do we continue going down because we can't get back? We can't get above that 200-day moving average. Also looking here at the MACD, you can see that we're getting less buying pressure, and if these green after green should come red. So like, do we get some more red candles here on the price on the S&P 500? Let me just get this old chart work. Possibly. Let's turn to the VRVP, see what the levels might be if we continue going lower on the S&P 500. I do have a high volume node here at 5,465. Could be the next level that the S&P 500 comes down to. Then I also have another high volume node here at 5,300. Could be another level where you could scoop up some cheap stocks if stocks come down. Yeah, that's about roughly another 5% move down from where we are right now. Yeah, almost 10% down. But anything can save the markets here. Like if the tariffs aren't that bad, and we also have like QT is starting to end soon. and we're going to be getting possibly QE from the Federal Reserve and maybe an interest rate cut, that could send the markets up, okay? And if it does, then you might get like a double bottom. So like this, even though this looks like it could be a possible bear flag, right? You might get a double bottom here, okay, on the S&P 500. And if you get a double bottom, right, what you need to do is you measure from the, so this is the bottom here, and this is the other bottom. You measure the distance between the bottom and the top in between the two bottoms here. And you just take that measure move, you put it to the, on top of the top, in between the two bottoms. And you're getting a price target right where this point of control is at too. And you could see a 6,000 point S&P 500 if this double bottom plays out to the upside. And it'll look something like this, right? If I just draw this out real quick. You know, you'll probably come up here. Maybe you get rejected by some of the movement averages. Maybe retest the 200-day moving average and then come back up to try to test that point of control, okay? And look, you get like a nice little W, okay, which means you're winning. That's how I view the double bottoms. Double bottoms means you're winning. The W, the double bottom, which is the opposite of a double top, okay? A double top will look like an M. All right, let's see. Athena saying wait until May, June, it'll go up. Maybe, you know, there's a saying in stock market world, sell in May and go away. Usually the summer is not a good time for the stock market, but maybe this year might be different only because the Federal Reserve might be lowering interest rates and Trump's tariffs might be over. That might be the end of Trump's tariffs. I mean, after he puts in tariffs, how much more tariffs can he possibly put in? I think that's the real question, is how much more tariffs can he possibly put in? Jim over here saying, why crypto going down so much? Crypto going down so much, that is a good question, right? Crypto is kind of attached to the stock market because, you know, it is a technology sector. Crypto is a technology sector, so when, you know, people in the stock market world, when they're losing money in stocks, they'll start selling some of their crypto as well, and that causes crypto to go down. Even though it's not supposed to be kind of attached to the stock market, it still is. And then with the Bitcoin ETF and Ethereum ETF also in power, that's basically causing the stock market to be more entrenched and tied into cryptocurrency. So, you know, I'm just giving you a long answer here, but my short answer is Trump's tariffs is causing both the stock market and cryptocurrency markets to go down. I'm actually putting the blame on Donald Trump. I'm sorry. I hate to be political, but to me, there's no coincidence here that when Donald Trump started talking about tariffs and started implementing tariffs, that's when the stock market started dropping. That's when crypto markets started dropping. So, you know, you can put the blame on Donald Trump, to be honest. Yeah, we talked about XRP already early in the live stream, but I'll give you a brief summary of my price targets. I know XRP is one of the popular cryptocurrencies, but yeah, I'll just give you the brief summary of it. We need to defend the $2 psychological level for XRP, because if we're not able to defend $2, then we're probably going to come down to the 200-day moving average, which is currently sitting at $1.80. If we lose the $1.80 level, then we could come down to where we have some sideways trading action here at $1.50, $1.45 on XRP. Those are your bearish price targets. Your bullish price targets on XRP is you want to see if XRP can make higher lows and higher highs and start to get up to like the green line here at $2.50. If it gets up to $2.50, it has a lot of rocket fuel where it could then head up to like $3 in no time. And then I have a long-term bullish target about $3.15 on XRP if XRP can get up to that price. Okay. But yeah, XRP is one of the stronger cryptocurrencies. It's actually stronger than Bitcoin because it's actually above the 200-day moving average. But it looks like it's losing its 100 and it's coming down to the 200 day. So we'll see. We shall see. But XRP is one of the strongest cryptocurrencies out there, performance-wise, chart-wise. Yep, so we talked about some of the big three. We talked about Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, Ripple. Let's take a look at Sui. Sui is another popular cryptocurrency that's starting to get a lot of attention now. It's supposedly faster than Solana. Solana was the fastest cryptocurrency, but I think Sui is now breaking records and taking that market away from Solana. But yeah, we'll see. Right now, Sui is currently trading at $2.26, and I was concerned about Sui being in the bear flag here. Okay, and I measured the bear flag like this. Okay, you got your flag pole, and then you got your flag here. And if it breaks down out of this bear flag, you could see Sui come down to $1.05, that blue number right there. Could be very bad for Sui if that plays out. Okay. Sui did give us a little bit of hope here when we saw the price start to go above the 21 EMA, this white line here, and we're hoping that it uses the 21 EMA as support, but it looks like it just came down below the 21 EMA. Okay, we want to see the price get above the 21 EMA, and then we want to see Sui create like higher lows and higher highs on its way back to the 200-day moving average, which is currently sitting at $3.09. I wouldn't be getting too bullish on Sui until you get above $3.09. But yeah, you could probably buy Sui right now at $2.25 and ride this puppy up to $3. And you can put your stop loss right below this candle wick here at $1.96. Maybe put it like $1.95. And if Sui loses $1.95, you probably want nothing to do with Sui at that point. Okay. So yeah, you could just game plan, you know, if you put your stop loss right now, well, if you bought at $2.26 and you put your stop loss at $1.95, you're risking about like 13%, almost 14% on your stop loss. However, if you're short-term trading this, you're trying to see if Sui can recapture that 200-day moving average, and you're looking for like a 37% gain on your Sui trade. Okay. And then anything after that is going to be gravy, because if it could just get back up to the 50-day moving average at 350, you know, you're looking at a 50% gainer on Sui. Guys, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit the follow button and subscribe. I'm doing a YouTube and a TikTok live stream at the same time. Double trouble over here. But yeah, I'm looking to see if you guys have any more requests. We'll take a look at some more cryptos here. Other than that, we'll probably take a look at CoinMarketCap to see what cryptos actually did well today. All right, let's get into it here. CoinMarketCap. Currently showing that the Fear and Greed Index is at 24. We did see it at 30 this week, earlier this weekend. So it looks like fear is starting to come back into the market again, probably because of those Trump tariffs. I like CoinMarketCap because it shows us all the prices here on these cryptos, and I can see which ones did well today. Looks like Toncoin, TON, actually was up today, 3.9%. Then we got Jitto up 4%, Hyperliquid up 4%. EOS had a good weekend. That one's up 3.6% today, and Curve up 3%. Tron. So there are some cryptos that were up today. They're still up. Okay. The ones that actually had the worst day, which could possibly be some buying opportunities, is Jupiter down 12.7% today. Story down 11%. Chain down 7.7%. Athena down 6.5%. Celestia down 6%. And the list goes on. Looks like I feel like a lot of cryptocurrencies had a red day versus a green day here. Usually when Bitcoin is not doing so well, yellow cryptocurrencies aren't going to be doing well either. Appreciate the follow there, Jay Smith. Welcome to the Meet Damien channel. If you have any stocks or cryptos you want me to take a look at, by all means, put in a request. All right. Let's see what cryptos actually have a good week the past week here. Zcash, okay? Zcash did pretty well, up 21% the last 7 days. Toncoin up 10% this past week. EOS, this is an old cryptocurrency. This one's up 7.5%, and then Tron up 4.8%. Let's take a look at Zcash. What's going on with Zcash? So like I said, I love looking at CoinMarketCap because it tells me about these cryptocurrencies. Especially, it's a good place to start doing research on your cryptos because you can take a look at the price. It tells you the market cap, total supply of the crypto. Gives you a nice little chart to work with here. You can see what the price has done over the past year. You even go back to all time and see what the price has done since the beginning of this crypto. Looks like this crypto had better days back in 2017 and 2018. Wow, this crypto was at like 500 bucks. What is it doing at 39? But if you don't know anything, there is, if you don't know what this cryptocurrency is or what it does, like you can check out the websites here. You got the website and a white paper, which is pretty useful to learn more about that crypto. And then you just click the About section right here, and it'll tell you some more about like what is Zcash, what it does. Okay, you find out who the founders are, what makes Zcash unique. Okay, so you can learn more about your cryptos here on CoinMarketCap. It's a good website to get started. And then you can find out where you could buy Zcash. You could buy it right here on the Binance Exchange, Coinbase Exchange, Mexi, KuCoin, Kraken, Bitfinex. Mainly all the big cryptocurrency exchanges already have this crypto. And yeah, you can also see, like, you can differentiate between centralized exchanges. So these are all exchanges. These exchanges are all centralized exchanges, but you can click on the DEX. Decentralized exchanges will tell you where you could buy it if you're in decentralized world here. You got PancakeSwap, ApeSwap, OpenOcean, SmartDex. These are all the exchanges that you can buy it off of if you want to get involved on Zcash. But yeah, it looks like this crypto has seen better days here. It was at like 73 bucks in December of last year. 70 bucks, yeah, in December. So it looks like this crypto, got a little blow off top here with the little mini altcoin season that we had in November and December of last year. And you could get it at a relatively steep discount. Looks like this thing lost about 50% of its value, which a lot of cryptos did. This wouldn't be the only one, but apparently, at least for today, this thing is up 3.85% today. All right. Okay, let me see if I got any requests here. Nope. All right. Okay, we can just move on to some other cryptos here. Let's take a look. What else did pretty well? Jitto was another one that did. The one that did well, and then Hyperliquid and Ton. Let's take a look at Hyperliquid. I haven't looked at that coin, but I keep hearing about it. Okay, let's take a look at it on TradingView here. All right. Hyperliquid. So Hyperliquid is a relatively new cryptocurrency. This one's trading at $13.02. And it looks like this thing started trading on the KuCoin exchange back on December, right during the little mini altcoin season that we had. And this thing got as high as what? How high did it go? Oh my god, look at that candle. Look at this big wick. Oh my god. $42. Okay. It wasn't able to capture that $42 level. It actually went to like $35 on December 21st here. But yeah, this is lower highs and lower lows. So this thing is currently in a downtrend right now. The saving grace that you do have that I can see already right now is I see a little bit of a bullish divergence where you're creating higher lows on the RSI after making lower lows here on price. So this thing could possibly be bottoming out here, and I see the potential for a double bottom maybe being formed here on Hyperliquid. And if this is a double bottom, then you just measure between, all right, so you get the first bottom here and the second bottom. It looks like it's at like $12.18 here. You just measure from that $12.18 level to, let me see. So you just measure in between the two bottoms to the top, in between the two bottoms. And you take that measure move and you put it to where this, to the top, on top of the top. And you get a $21 price target here on the Hyperliquid. Okay, so if this thing starts to bottom out here and it creates the double bottom, what you'll see is this thing create higher lows and higher highs on its way to $21. Okay, so you could possibly get a 50% gain on this crypto if it continues being bullish. But in order for you to be bullish, you have to start seeing those higher highs and higher lows and higher highs once again. Okay. All right. So that's Hyperliquid, bullish price target, bearish price target. I mean, this thing looks like it's already bottomed out, but maybe you could come down to the low price here in December where this thing was at $10. Okay, so you could still probably possibly lose 30% of your value in this asset here. I would probably put the stop loss probably at like $11.50. You know, you could buy at 13, stop loss at $11.50. This thing, it got as low as like 12.17 and 12.07. So you can even put the stop loss at 12 if you want to put it even tighter than that. But yeah, stop loss like 11.50, and you ride this puppy up to see if it can get back up to like $20 here again. Yeah, Hyperliquid could possibly be a possible winner here. All right, we'll take a look at Toncoin now. Bitfinex. Toncoin currently at $4.09. What has this coin done? All right. So we're looking at the daily chart here. This coin looks like it's done a round trip. Basically, it had a nice impulse move on February 2024. It's seen, I think that was like kind of like almost another mini altcoin season back in like April of 2024. And this thing has gone back down to the same price that it was at back in February of 2024. Okay. We seen it get low here. The lowest low here on March 11th was about $2.43. But it looks like we recaptured the 21 EMA, and the 21 EMA is curving up. So maybe this can start being used as a support line as you climb up to higher prices. And I would like to see this crypto try to recapture the 200-day moving average at some point at $4.94 here. Okay. Then you can start being bullish on TON again. Okay. Let's turn on the VRVP, see what the volume nodes are saying. So you got point of control, this blue line at $3.58. That could be the line of support. If you were currently trying to initiate a position here on Toncoin at $4.09, I'd probably put the stop loss at the point of control at $3.58 or maybe $3.50, and hope that you don't get stopped out. All right, but this crypto looks like it's ready to break out to the upside because you got a big gap in the volume here on the VRVP, and you could see this crypto come right up to $4.85 in no time. Okay, and make a go, try to make a go at the 200-day moving average, currently sitting at $4.95, and the 100-day moving average is currently sitting at $4.08. All right. So yeah, I mean, this crypto could have an explosive upside here in the near future. We'll see. Leads me to believe there might be some positive catalysts or some news coming soon here for this crypto if it does get, start going up to higher prices here. But that's Toncoin. Let's take a look at some other cryptos here. Looks like AI16Z is having a good day here. AI16Z, kind of related to meme coins here. This thing is at 16 cents, up 3.3% today. AI16Z's point of control is currently at blue line, sitting at 20 cents. So this thing, it does want to come back to that point of control, right? That blue line, where a lot of traders bought and they traded up and settled at that price. So a lot of people would just be break even at that point. So if it does come up there, I'm expecting some resistance. But if we can break past that point of control, then you have a big gap here on the VRVP, and looks like the next gap, the next high volume node is about like 32 cents. So this thing could probably double in price, right? If it can just start going up to higher prices, you could possibly get a double here on AI16Z. Alright, this thing is saying I am not inactive. Alright. Dread, we're looking at AI16Z right now. This is I believe it's a meme coin that invests in other meme coins. Yeah. So it's understandable why it's had a steep drop, because a lot of these meme coins lost money. So I'm assuming that AI16Z has lost money because of that. But it looks like you're bottoming out here on AI16Z because you have higher lows here on the RSI after you just created lower lows on price. So that's bullish divergence. We could see this thing come right back up to like 30 cents. That would be the next bullish price target. Bearish price targets is if this thing loses about 15, if this thing comes down to 15 cents again and goes lower, it's probably gonna get ugly, because I don't think it's ever been that low, but it could. You would start being bearish on AI16Z if it loses this trend line here on the RSI too. Okay, as long as it creates higher lows, you can continue being cautiously optimistic on AI16Z. All right. Let's take a look at some other cryptos. Let's take a look at Render. I've done some previous chart work on Render. You can see that Render is already has bullish divergence playing out here. So Render could possibly be bottoming out here, and then you might see Render come up to this high volume node here at like $4.60. And then you got a gap here, and then the point of control, the highest volume is at $7.60. It's probably where a lot of people are going to get out just to break even on this crypto. But you know, we might get some resistance here at the 200-day moving average, which is currently sitting at $5.88. That probably might be your short-term bullish target on render, if you're short-term trading this crypto. Okay. I can't really be bearish on render unless it loses this 21 EMA. This 21 EMA should act as support, this white line here, as we start going to higher prices on render. If we lose that, then that probably means we're going to lower prices, and then we have to maybe start worrying about render coming down and breaking through this trend line here of higher lows here on the RSI. Take a look at another cryptocurrency here. We'll look at Bitcoin Cash. Okay, Bitcoin Cash, not to be confused with Bitcoin here, is currently trading at $302 here, up 1.2% today. Okay. And let me just clean up the chart here a little bit. Bitcoin Cash has its point of control currently sitting at $330. So I'm expecting this crypto to start gravitating and getting attracted towards that $330 price like a magnet here. Oh wow, a little bit of promising action here on the MACD. We do have some red candles here on the MACD, but now we're starting to get like kind of like pink candles or light red candles. It could possibly signify that buyers are stepping in to buy Bitcoin Cash at these low prices here, and you might see Bitcoin Cash start to climb up at least to that $330 level, which is a 10% gain. But then if Bitcoin Cash can break through that point of control, then you have a big gap here, and you got a little bit of volume here at 391. Okay, 391, which is also where like the 200-day moving average is sitting at. You could have a short-term price target of 391 on Bitcoin Cash, and then you have another gap here, which then could send Bitcoin Cash up to $438. Okay, if Bitcoin Cash can start being bullish rather than bearish. Hey Porky, good to see that you're in the chat. I'm working here. I got YouTube, and I also have TikTok. I'm streaming on both platforms right now. Some of my TikTok streamers are keeping me busy with the requests here. Let's see. Do we have any great news from the XRP chart yet? I'm afraid not, Porky. We have looked at XRP like 3 or 4 times in this live stream so far. This would be at least, I think, the 3rd or 4th time that I've looked at XRP. Okay. One of the popular cryptocurrencies out there. Okay. It's actually stronger than Bitcoin because it's above its 200-day moving average. But I believe, like, if we lose these candle wicks here at like was it $1.89, right? That's my line in the sand for Ripple. Okay, if we lose $1.89, we're probably going to come right down to this 200-day moving average at $1.79, which is, you know, only 10 cents off. Okay, but yeah, if we lose that 200-day moving average, then we got the VRVP here saying that we could see Ripple XRP at $1.46. Okay, you see you got some sideways trading action here back in November of 2024. So $1.46 could be the bearish price target for Ripple here. All right, yeah. Yes, 58 cents. We'll have to wait a little bit longer, but let's see if the charts kind of agree with your 58-cent target here. If I zoom out, the VRVP is showing the point of control. To me, that looks like 51 cents. Yeah, 51 cents might actually be your price target that you're looking for, Porky. You can see that you got a lot of volume. A lot of people bought Ripple XRP. Actually, no, wait, you might be right. Yeah, 59 cents. Yeah, look at this. I'm getting 59 cents, 58 cents. Look at that. You might be right on target with your Ripple price prediction there. But I think that's a very aggressive bearish target. I think you might see Ripple even get like some support here at $1.10. Okay, you got like the VRVP saying at $1.10 because like over here in November you had some sideways trading action. So those people there that bought Ripple at $1.10, they'll probably buy some more at $1.10. So you might get some stubborn support at $1.10. Dump it. He says dump it. Dump it. Let's see. Let's dive into the 1 hour chart. See if there's any potential bullish price action moves here. Maybe some higher lows on the R side. Oh, Porky. We are seeing. To me, it looks like we're seeing some bullish divergence. Right? You got some higher lows here on the RSI. You got lower lows on the price, as you can see. Maybe a possible double bottom. If you could consider this a double bottom, possibly, on Ripple. Could we possibly go into higher prices on Ripple? We're looking at the 1 hour chart. If we do start going to higher prices, it looks like $2.20 might be the next stop for Ripple. Okay, then you got to contend against these moving averages acting as resistance as you try to hopefully flip those from resistance into support. And then you got a lot of volume here at $2.30, $2.40 here. I wouldn't start to be bullish on Ripple until we get above that 200 moving average on the 1 hour chart. Yeah, $2.30, $2.30 on Ripple is when I would start being bullish, which could happen, you know, in one day, right? What, 20 cents? That's like a 10% move. If Ripple goes up 10% in 1 day's time here, you could start being bullish on Ripple again. Or I should probably say cautiously optimistic on Ripple. Fake out. Bullish div, fake out. You know, it's just a 1 hour chart. You know, it's not as strong as like the 4 hour or even the daily. Okay. We would love to see bullish divergence on the daily for Ripple. And I mean, do we have? I mean, this could be the beginning of some bullish divergence on Ripple on the daily chart. We'll have to see how the days and weeks go by here. But if Ripple could just stop going down right now, then yeah, you have to start being bullish. If it's not going down, if we do not go below that $2 psychological level on Ripple, I think a lot of people will be excited to stay in Ripple and watch this thing ride up to higher prices here. Savito says, hold them heavy bags. Yeah. All right. I think that's it. I'm not taking any more requests on Ripple. That's like the third or fourth time I looked at it today. In less than 1 hour. Let's see. Let's take a look at the Cardano now. Okay. Another high market cryptocurrency that's been around for a while. All right. We got Cardano currently at 66 cents. Pretty much flat for today. And we have the point of control for Cardano sitting at like 73 cents. So I do expect that thing to try to at least come back to 73 cents and back test that. Even if it's going to be bearish, we could back test the point of control, and then we can definitely be for sure bearish on Cardano. And that back test would put you back at the 200-day moving average at 72 cents. So it's going to be interesting to see what Cardano does if it does get up to 72 cents. Are we going to actually break past that and go to higher prices and use that as support? Or are we going to get rejected and come on down to lower prices and use that as resistance? Okay. I am cautiously optimistic on Cardano because we are creating higher lows on the RSI. You know, you just saw me just readjust the line here a little bit, but yeah, if you lose this trend line here on the RSI, you're gonna have to be bearish on Cardano, right? And if Cardano continues being bearish, then you got high volume node here at 59 cents, which just so happens to be where the 0.236 fib retracement levels at 57 cents. So I would say Cardano could see 57 cents if it continues being bearish. Now I'll give you the bullish case. Bullish case is that we get above 72 cents, which also happens to be where that 0.382 retracement level's at. And then you're probably going to contend up against 83 cents, which I also believe is where, well, yeah, you got some resistance and support here at 83 cents. So I'm expecting that to be the next price target for Cardano as it tries to become bullish again. And I mean, look at this. Looking at the 50 and the 100-day moving average, 84 cents is where those moving averages are sitting at. So yeah, 84 cents would probably be your short-term bullish target on Cardano. If you can get past that, then you can start talking about maybe you can see Cardano go up to $1. You got some high volume nodes here at $1, $1.10, $1.08. So, but first we gotta try to at least see 80 cents. I'm sorry, we gotta see 72 cents, and then we gotta see 83 cents on Cardano for us to get bullish again. All right, let's see. Yeah, I do have a lot of indicators here. These indicators are useful. I do day trading as well, so that's probably why it seems a little bit overwhelming. Okay, but usually I can just get rid of the VRVP. I can even get rid of the moving averages here, and you can just look at the chart. You know, almost like a naked chart here, and you can see that we had like a falling wedge here on Cardano. Right, and usually those things break out to the upside, but this thing has been weak and it actually traded sideways. But you know, if you're a new time trader here, I would say, you know, you could use, you know, the RSI here as one of your biggest indicators that you should be using before you start dibble dabbling into the other indicators like the MACD and the stochastic RSI. Right, I would start using the RSI, just the regular RSI, as like one of your #1 indicators, and then of course putting in some moving averages are also useful. I have a few moving averages here. The green one is the 50-day moving average. Okay, that's a pretty popular moving average for people to use when they're trading charts. The other popular one would be the 200-day. I would say you definitely need to have the 200-day, that red line there, as your moving average. Once you lose the 200-day, you're bearish. Once you get above the 200-day, you can be back to being bullish on your asset. Okay, but then I also have the 100-day moving average, which is this blue line, and I got the 21 EMA, which is very useful, especially when I'm day trading and I'm on like the smaller time frames, like the 5-minute chart. Okay, you know, right now I'm looking at the 5-minute chart for Cardano, and you can see that the white line, the 21 EMA, is always where the price is at. And when price gets away from the 21 EMA, it comes right back to it. Okay? Look at that. Like, we lost the 21 EMA over here. We came right back to it. Then we got above it a little bit, and then we came right back to it. And then we lose, we get below the 21 EMA one more time, and then we come right back to it. So, you know, 21 EMA is pretty useful, especially for day trading and using smaller time frames. But you don't have to use the 21 EMA. I do it. I still have it on my trading view because I'm always using it for day trading. Hopefully I explained those indicators to you. But yeah, so these lines here, you know, these are your moving averages: the 200-day, 100-day, 50-day, and the 21 EMA. Okay. Then you got the RSI here, which is pretty useful for me. Then you got the MACD, which I have to zoom in here so you can kind of see what it looks like. But you got the MACD here, and then you got the stochastic RSI, right? Right now, just looking at the 5-minute chart for Cardano, right? It looks like we're a little bit overheated and overbought on the 5-minute time frame because the RSI it's at 63. It's kind of high, okay? And you got the stochastic RSI at 100, okay? So Cardano might start coming down in the next 10 or 15 minutes here. We might start to see maybe like 65 cents or even, yeah, about 65 cents, 64 cents here around Cardano in the next 30 minutes, I would say. But yeah, that's how I read these indicators here. Stochastic RSI overheated, RSI overheated. It probably means we're coming down. However, the stochastic RSI could continue being overheated, and the RSI could continue going higher. And if that's the case, then you'll start seeing price going up on the price chart here. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of education on what the indicators are and what they do. I do have a Meet Damien YouTube channel, and one of my videos helps explain what all these indicators are and how you can use them on the Meet Damien YouTube channel. Might be worth checking out my YouTube channel, Meet Damien. Okay. Yeah, I'm on YouTube, and I'm also on TikTok as well. Porky says Porky loves the 4-hour time frames when it comes to setting up trades. Yeah, 4-hour time frame. That's a good time frame for swing trading, and it's relatively long term time frame. I would say anything less than the 1 hour. If you're going into the 1 hour, now you're starting to trade like the smaller time frames. 1 hour, 15-minute, 10-minute, 5-minute, 1 minute, 1 minute time frame is definitely a small time frame. The 4-hour time frame, I would consider that a long-term time frame, but it's definitely useful for swing trading. If you plan on being in an asset for like a few days or a few weeks here, that's a good time frame to use. Then you got the 8-hour, 12-hour, and the daily time frame. Daily time frame is useful for every trader and investor, but it's also considered a high time frame. Doing a little bit of education today. Oh yeah, crazy! Definitely go check out my YouTube channel and check out how to read a chart. And you'll understand those indicators better. Let me see if I can actually pull that up here. Let's go into my YouTube here. Alright, yep. We're going to the Meet Damien channel. This is what my YouTube channel looks like. I'm trying to build it up. But yeah, if you go into videos, let's see, where are my videos here? Where are the videos? Oh yeah, here we go. Videos. Okay. Why is that? Am I in the channel? Let me go click on the channel here. All right, yeah, here we go. Videos. That's what I'm looking for. And yeah, that's the video that you're looking for right there. How to read a candlestick chart and how to read the RSI MACD. Click on it real quick. Which was. But yeah, you'll see me go ahead and I'll be able to explain. I get into details about. So that's basics of candles, candlestick patterns. I do want to elaborate a little bit more in this video. But yeah, you
as
should
to,
definitely check out that
different time frames here.
that video
So,
there for your education. And I'll try to make a few more educational videos, but I think that one did the trick there for charts. Okay, how to read candlestick patterns, RSI, MACD, stochastic RSI. You're welcome, Crazy. I'm glad to help you out. I'm here to teach as much as I can and educate you guys on technical analysis here. And for my YouTube guys, yes, I do have a TikTok channel here. Okay, you might want to check that out. You see some of my short form content here, but I also do YouTube shorts as well. So it's, if you want to stay with YouTube, that's fine. But if you want to check me out and join the community on the Meet Damien TikTok community, right? Then you can check me out there. Okay, that's my TikTok for my YouTube guys. All right. You guys have any more requests for stocks or crypto? I think I want to look at Aptos next. Crazy is saying, any tips on trading? I never actually traded before. You're 17. You're 17 years old? Okay, so I don't believe you're able to actually open up an account with any of the trading platforms until you're 18 years old. But it's good to see that you're actually interested at a young age. I actually started trading and investing in stocks when I was 18 years old. I know my first stock that I bought was like Boeing and Google, companies that I knew that were going to be around for a while, that had promising futures ahead of them. Okay. But my tip for you about, if you're talking about like trading or day trading, I would get a demo account and use money that's not actually real, and just see if you're able to actually increase the value of your trading account before you start using your own money and possibly losing your own money. Because you're most likely gonna start, when you start trading and you're not doing long-term investing, if you're trading, you're probably going to lose money your first year, probably your first 2 or 3 years, before you're able to get really good at reading the charts and trading. Okay, that's if you're going to be day trading. I wouldn't suggest day trading unless you're doing demo trading first, and then get the hang of it, know how to actually use the trading platform, how to buy, how to sell, how to close out your positions, how to read the charts and the indicators, and then you could try to start using your own money to trade. That's my tip for you. You're asking me like any particular accounts for demo trading? Any particular platforms? Well, whatever platform that you're using, it should, I mean, there should be a demo trading account attached to it. If you're not able to demo trade, then I would just say just use small amounts of money. Okay, whatever is small to you, like 1% of your total portfolio in whatever trade that you're doing. Okay, so let's say, and I'll give you an example. If you're actually using real money and you got like a $10,000 account, use just 1% of that. So what's 1% of that? That's was that like $100? Okay, so yeah, I would just trade with $100 and see if you can actually make money day trading just using $100 on one particular asset. And if you lose $100, you only lost $100, but you can do that 100 times if you have like a $10,000 account, right? Before you end up losing all your money. Okay, so you would have to make 100 bad trades, losing $100 before you blow out your trading account. Okay. Hopefully you don't do that, and some of those trades will actually be positive, and you know you won't lose 100 consecutive trades in a row. But yeah, if that gives you any idea, like if you're using real money, use only 1% of your total portfolio in any particular trade, and yeah, you would have to do that 100 times before you end up losing all your money. Okay, we'll go back into looking at Aptos now. Aptos currently at $5.27, right? Aptos has some bullish divergence that looks like it was starting to play out here, but what I'm worried about with Aptos now is, you know, we were creating higher lows on the RSI here. Looks like we came below that trend line, so now I have to start worrying about being bearish on Aptos now. And could we come back down to the lower levels here where we saw Aptos at $4.80, 83 cents back on March 13th? Possibly, right? This is the warning here for Aptos, all right? We could possibly start seeing lower prices here on Aptos. So I would actually, even though we came down here, you could put like a small, you know, short here with low leverage, and you could short Aptos, right? And I'll probably put the stop loss, right, near the high for the day at like $5.42, or maybe even at the 21 EMA. That 21 EMA, what is that? I gotta zoom out here a little bit. That 21 EMA is currently sitting at $5.50, so I probably put the stop loss. If you're gonna short Aptos, I would put the stop loss at like $5.50, right? And you would short this thing down, probably down to like $4.90, okay, as your first take profit target. And then after that, I mean, if it goes lower, you're making more money on your short. But I actually would start looking for longs here on Aptos, because I don't think Aptos has been this low, and when it does, it usually bounces back, okay? So yeah, you can see like back here in September 2023, Aptos got down to this level here, and then it shot back up to like $7 or $8, okay? Same thing over here in July and August of 2024, Aptos came down to like, you know, $4 or $5 here, okay? And then it shot back up like a couple of months later, up to like $10, okay? So I'd be looking for longs at this level here for Aptos. I wouldn't be really looking for shorts, but if you want to do it, if you're day trading, you know, Aptos, you could short, you know, Aptos at this level here, and just put a really tight stop loss, knowing that you most likely will get stopped out, okay, if we go up to higher prices here. And it's only going to be a small loss on your short, okay? But Aptos could come down to $4.90 again, okay? And then you can start making money on your short, okay? All right, let's see. Guys, do you have any other requests? I've been going live. I've been streaming for about an hour and a half now. I think I covered most cryptos here, and I also covered some stocks here. We talked about Tesla and the S&P 500. If I don't get any requests, then I'm probably going to end this live stream here. Yeah, crazy. I try to go live. I've been trying to go live more often here on TikTok. I was worried about my live streams getting taken down for stupid reasons with TikTok, so I stopped streaming on TikTok. But now I'm streaming again. I think TikTok is being better at not taking the streams down. But it looks like I did miss a request here. We got a request by Banquiz Onija. Yeah, we take a look at that one. Alright, let's take a look at Onija. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Or Ani? Is it Anija? I don't see anything coming up for that crypto, or whatever that thing is. Did you misspell it? ONIJAH? I don't see anything coming up here. What about BNB? Okay, Binance Coin. We can take a look at Binance Coin. Binance USD. All right, we're looking at Binance Coin, currently trading at $604.80. Binance Coin, let's see, let me get rid of some of this previous chart work here. Looking at the daily chart for Binance Coin. Binance Coin is contending up against this 200-day moving average, which is acting as resistance. That resistance is at $626 on Binance Coin. Hopefully we're able to break above that, and if we do, then we can start being bullish on Binance Coin, but I would not be bullish until we get above the 200-day moving average. But also this 21 EMA, if this 21 EMA starts to get above the 200-day moving average, then you know for damn sure that we're starting to be bullish on Binance Coin. And you could start seeing higher prices for Binance Coin once this white line crosses the red line here, okay, to the upside. As I start zooming in here, you could put your stop loss on Binance Coin probably like right over, I think right over here at 574 would probably be a good stop loss entry if you're day trading this coin, right? And that doesn't seem to be too much of a loss on your stop loss. And you're just riding this puppy up and trying to see if you can get above the 200-day moving average. Now, if you get above the 200-day moving average, I see what possibly could be an inverted head and shoulder pattern. So let me just try to draw this out here for you. Let's see. Where's my server? Yeah. So you have like the head over here, okay? And then you got like a shoulder. Where is it? You got the left shoulder right here. And you also have a right shoulder, which possibly could be forming right here. So you got your left shoulder, head, right shoulder. And then you just measure out the measure move on the inverted head and shoulder pattern. Inverted head and shoulder pattern is a bullish pattern, just for your information here. You just measure from the top of the head to the neckline where the shoulders are at, and it gives you a measured move. And you just take this measured move and you put it to like where you could possibly break out at the neckline here on Binance Coin, and you got a price target of about 756 if this inverted head and shoulder plays out to the upside on Binance Coin. So that's my bullish target for Binance Coin. Right, I'm looking for 756, and I'm trying to see if there's anything that if there's any confluence, anything that agrees with 756 being a target price. We have seen Binance Coin get up to like 794 on December 4th here, and then I see some candle closes around 750. So yeah, I think 750 bucks is a good price target for Binance Coin. That's a very attainable price target for Binance Coin. All right, Royal Queen, thank you for the follow. Vino says, let's look at Kronos and Orca. And then we also got a request for a Jupiter. All right. You guys keeping me busy with these requests. I'll keep on looking at the charts with you guys. Alright, so what was the first one? We're looking at Kronos, I believe. Kronos and Orca, and then we'll look at Jupiter. Okay. Kronos. Kronos is currently trading at 9 cents, almost 10 cents. Down 2.7% today. We got 25 more minutes before the daily candle closes here. Looks like Kronos has been in a downtrend, right? Ever since November, the end of November, beginning of December of last year. And I see bullish divergence and a bottom being formed here around Kronos. So this is very good. This is very good to see here. Okay. You can see that we have higher lows here on the RSI. Be careful if we break this this uptrend here. You could see Kronos come back down to lower prices. And if Kronos does come down to lower prices, I'm hoping and I'm expecting that the 21 EMA could act as support here. Okay, that white line. And the 21 EMA could provide support at like roughly 9 cents. So you're a little bit above. You're at like 9.89. You could come down to like 8.91 here. 8 cents roughly on Kronos. And hopefully you're able to use that as support as you go up to higher prices. And you want to see if you can get above that 200-day moving average at 11, almost 12 cents here. You can see that we tried to get above the 200-day moving average, but we rejected it and we used it as resistance. And also the 50-day is also acting as resistance now. Okay. But as this thing starts curving up to higher prices, you could possibly see, as you see this white line curving up to higher prices, you could see the price also start curving up to higher prices. And then where could Kronos go up next? You know, we would like to see us get above all the moving averages here. You got the 100 at 13 cents roughly, and then after 13 cents, if I turn on the VRVP, let's see, we got the high volume. We got a high volume node here at 18 cents. So this crypto could possibly double in price as it climbs up to higher prices here. So that's my bullish target, long-term bullish target on Kronos. Okay. Let's move on to Orca. USD. I believe Orca is a Solana decentralized exchange. So decentralized exchange working off the Solana ecosystem. And Orca is currently trading at $2.19. And we can keep the VRVP here to show us that the point of control, this blue line, is where a lot of traders and investors, they bought Orca. So anybody here is just break even at $2.48. I would expect Orca to get some bounce, get a bounce off this 21 EMA at like $2.04 here. If it does go lower, and then try to, you know, break past this $2.50 area where the point of control is at, and then you got a lot more resistance here at the 200-day moving average, which is sitting at 284. But once you get past these moving averages here, you know, I mean, look what Orca did just back here on March 21st. This thing got as high as like $5.97. Wow. Okay. I'm not sure why that happened. These things can't happen like that. But you know, once this thing gets above the moving averages at once it gets past $3 here, you have high volume node sitting at like 550, 560. So this thing could come back up to high prices. You could double your investment here on Orca in short order, in a short time here. I mean, look whoever bought back here on March 20th at like $1.50. The next day on the 21st, they saw $6 almost. This thing has the rocket fuel to go to higher prices. So worth looking at. In the near term though, we are looking at the MACD is showing some buying pressures coming down. We might start getting some selling pressure. We'll see. We'll be on the lookout for that. You could get a recovery and you might not see red candles showing up, and you might get green candles again. Because look at this, we've been green candle ever since like February 11th here. So somebody is buying up and accumulating Orca right now. And I feel like this thing has bottomed out already. And with this being a decentralized exchange in cryptocurrency world, I mean, this thing does make money, so that's probably the reason why it's getting bought up right now. Stochastic RSIs are trending down, so I mean, you might get a couple of more bad days here. You might see this thing come right down to the 21 EMA, right? We said that 21 EMA is currently at $2.07, so this thing could come down just a little bit lower. I would expect like $2 to be like the line in the sand where people will start defending, the bulls will start defending $2, just like they would with Ripple here at $2. I feel as though like this cryptocurrency is probably going to get some support at like $2 and $2.07. So that could be where you could scoop up your last bit of cheap Orca before this thing shoots up to higher prices again. Alright, and then the next one, I believe we were going to look at Jupiter. Jupiter is also another decentralized exchange, just like Orca, and that one is also on the Solana ecosystem as well. So let's take a look at that Jupiter. Alright, Jupiter Exchange is trading at 42 cents right now. And Jupiter not having as good of price action as Orca. It's actually having a bad day today too. Down 11%. Yikes. 11.74%. I'm not sure why that's the case. Yeah. As I start to zoom out, you can see that the point of control with all this data here is sitting at like 51 cents. So this crypto is actually trading below its point of control. Usually this thing should start to try to come back to the point of control, unless it's going to make a new point of control. But I'm expecting this thing to get attracted and magnetically attracted back to the point of control. So you could see an easy upside on this crypto where this thing climbs back up to 50 cents again, where that blue line is at. And then, you know, then you got to see if will this thing climb up to higher prices, and if it does, you got some more resistance probably at like 59 cents. But then after that, you got a big gap in the volume here on the VRVP, and you could see 72 cents as the next resistance level for this crypto. So I think this crypto could double in price as well. Just like Orca, it has the capability of doing that. But you can't really be too optimistic and bullish on this crypto until it gets above the red line here, which is at 87 cents, 88 cents. And then you can say you're back in the bull market again on Jupiter. Guys, I think that's all the requests, and I'm getting a little bit tired with all this talking that I've done so far. We have almost done like a 2-hour live stream here. One of the longest live streams I've done in recent memory here. So I appreciate all the requests that I got from you guys. One more. You want me to look at Doge? Okay. I think I'll do Doge, and then that's it. That's it for today. Let's see. I got another person in here in the live stream. Cam Hurst, you came over from Porky's channel. Appreciate it. Porky's a really great guy. Appreciate him, you know, putting the shout out on his YouTube channel. If you guys want to check out another technical analyst who's always going live just about every day, you guys should check out Porky Flounder 65 on YouTube. He also has a TikTok channel that he's trying to build up, but he's pretty knowledgeable in technical analysis here. And he goes live a little bit later than I do, so if you guys are up late at night, Porky might be your guy. He's running off of like California West Coast time, so he usually goes live around like 9 p.m. West Coast time, LA time, around that time slot. Yeah. But yeah, I'll go ahead and take a look at Dogecoin for you there, Crazy. And then I think that's gonna be it for me. And then I guess you guys would have to check out Porky Flounder if you want to do some more requests. Okay, because I think I'm all requested out here. All right, so we'll look at Dogecoin as the last request for tonight. Dogecoin currently trading at 16 cents. Point of control with all this data that we're looking at, the high volume is at 16 cents. Okay, so could Dogecoin use this as a line of support? That would be what the bulls are hoping for. Okay. Let's see what RSI is telling us here, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I was, getting a little bit optimistic about Dogecoin bottoming out because we had a bullish divergence that was starting to play out here back in end of February going into March, and you can see that bullish divergence has caused the price to just go flat. It's trading sideways here at like 16.5 cents. You can't be bullish on Dogecoin until you recapture the 200-day moving average, which is currently sitting at 25 cents. That's also where you got a high volume node at 25 cents. So I'm expecting Dogecoin, if it does continue being bullish, well, first it's probably going to get 10 up against 20 cents. That's like a good psychological number. And you also got a lot of volume there. But then once you get past 20 cents, then I'm expecting 25 cents to be the next resistance level for Dogecoin. So you got some work to do here with Dogecoin as you start climbing up to higher prices here, okay? But if Dogecoin continues being bullish, your long-term price target for Dogecoin possibly going to be 32 cents, and you should be happy if you could sell your Dogecoin at 32 cents, because if you're buying it right now at 16 cents, you're going to get a double of price, and you're going to double your money with Dogecoin if it does get up to 32 cents. Now, let's see, anything bearish on Dogecoin here? The thing that is concerning about Dogecoin and the bearish case right now is that, Dogecoin was creating higher lows on the RSI, but zooming in on the RSI, you can see that we broke that trend on the RSI. And, does that mean we're going to go to lower prices? Possibly. If this RSI, if we get more selling pressure on Dogecoin, then you might see lower prices here. And, it could just be a buying opportunity because, Dogecoin, we saw Dogecoin at what? 14 cents here on Tuesday, March 11th. So maybe you might be able to scoop up Dogecoin at 14 cents again if it does start to go down. And then maybe we might get a bottom here and then another bottom. And you got your double bottom forming. And then you can see Dogecoin go up to higher prices. Okay, but, yeah, we're kind of looking, we're a little bit cautious on Dogecoin that we could see some lower prices here, mainly because we lost the uptrend here on the RSI, and the buying pressure is starting to wane and come down, and you might start seeing some red candles showing up on the MACD here, indicating that you're going to lower prices on Dogecoin. Okay, and if we do, I'm expecting 14 cents to be heavily defended, but if we do come down lower than 14 cents, then you got the point of control here. This blue line is sitting at 10 cents, so Dogecoin could come down to 10 cents if it continues being really bearish out there. Okay, but we'll see. I mean, we're on we're hanging on by a thread here, okay, with Dogecoin, right? I think 14 cents might be the line in the sand. If we're not able to defend it, then we're coming down to 10 cents on Dogecoin. Okay. Your daddy. I said Dogecoin was gonna be the last request, but I appreciate you coming in. I'll do your coin, and then that's it. That's it for me today. No more requests. That's it. I gotta wrap it up here. I'm getting a little bit My throat's starting to hurt now a little bit. All this talking that I've done. I need to take a break. But let's look at DG. DG is at the Dollar General on the New York Stock Exchange. So we got one more stock request here. We're looking at Dollar General. Currently trading at $87.93, up 2% today. I think this is a recession-proof stock, right? Or this is a good stock to own if we are going to go into a recession. If there is a recession, people will start buying cheaper products from Dollar General. Why don't I have more data than this? What the hell happened here? Oh my god, this thing has dropped. Jeez, this thing has seen higher prices back in 2022 when you saw like a $250 Dollar General. Jesus Christ, what the? Okay, Dollar General. Okay, but looks like Dollar General is starting to get some bids now. We see here on the RSI higher lows here and also higher highs on the RSI. And then we want to see if we can get above the 200-day moving average, that red line there. $90 Dollar General. If we get up to like $90.70, you can start being bullish again on Dollar General. Okay, and then hopefully as this white 21 EMA comes up, when you see that white line on the 21 EMA cross the red line, then you know for sure that you are bullish on Dollar General. You can be bullish on Dollar General, because that's going to cause the price to shoot up as well if the white line crosses the red line to the upside on Dollar General. Now, if we continue going to higher prices on Dollar General, you got a high volume node here at $116. Could be the next near-term bullish price target on Dollar General. And I skipped over $103. $103 might be the near-term bullish price target. But yeah, after that comes $116, $117. And then you got another high volume here at $135. So those are your bullish targets on Dollar General going forward. You're welcome, your daddy. And that's pretty much it on the requests here. I did almost like a 2-hour live stream here, one of my longest ones here. But if you guys keep coming out with the requests, then yeah, we can definitely do these long live streams here. All right. Be on the lookout for my next live stream. I usually go live at like 5 or 6 p.m. East Coast time. So yeah, look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.